I'm alive! I'm alive! Sometimes it takes more than a cup of coffee to get me going in the morning. Welcome to Zombie Life with me, Dead Ned. On today's episode, I'll be taking a look at a game that lets you go head to head with some of the most notorious monsters ever to have graced or disgraced the silver screen. Horrified, the board game by Ravensburger, features Universal Horror's most famous monster lineup of the Wolfman, the Mummy, the Invisible Man, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein's monster and his bride, and the undead king Count Dracula. Your mission is to protect the village and its helpless inhabitants by defeating the monsters that are attacking. Right, here's how to play this horrifically fun game. Start by setting up the board, which represents the village and all of its locations. Place the terror marker on the 0 of the terror level track, and then give the monster card deck a good shuffle and place it face down next to the board. Now you can choose which monsters to play against. It's best to start with just 2 for your first game, and then you can add more if you fancy games with more danger difficulty. The recommended monsters for a beginner are the Creature from the Black Lagoon and Dracula. So let's go with these 2 badass motherfuckers. Place the corresponding monster mats next to the board and complete the instructions for the monsters given on the back of the mats. So for Dracula, we place his 4 coffins at the chosen locations with the red icon facing up, and then put Dracula's minifigure starting in the crypt. The Creature from the Black Lagoon has a special tile that lays over the camp space and a boat token for the mini lagoon map on the Creature's mat. Then place the Creature's mini in the lagoon space. Now place the frenzy marker on the monster with the lowest frenzy score. In this case, it's old fish face here. Mix up the hero badges and hand 1 out to each player along with a reference card. We'll have 2 goody 2-shoes heroes for this game. Let's have the explorer and the archaeologist. You can also choose from the professor, the mayor, an inspector, a scientist, and a courier. Place your hero mini on the location stated, and then shuffle the perk cards and deal 1 to each player. Place the rest of the deck face down next to the board. Put all 60 item tokens in the black bag, draw out 12 of them, and place them at the locations indicated. So to defeat the Creature from the Black Lagoon, you need to find your way to its hidden lair and drive it away. To destroy Dracula, you'll have to smash open his 4 coffins first and then stick him with a stake. More on how to accomplish all of this in a bit. This is a cooperative game, so all players work together. You start with a hero phase, where you can take a number of actions as shown at the top of your hero badge. The actions you can take are moving through the village along the paths. Each space you move into is 1 action. And if you have a rescued villager, they move with you. If villagers are in play, you can move 1 villager from your hero space to an adjacent space, or a villager from an adjacent space to your space. Those moves cost 1 action each. You can also pick up item tokens from locations. Each item you pick up is an action. You can share items with another hero that's in the same space as you. Again, each item shared counts as an action. You can also advance the game at special locations that need collected items to complete monster tasks as an action. If you've completed a monster task and are in the same space as a monster, you can use an action to defeat that monster. And all hero characters have a special action that can be used as well. Now, to defeat Old Fang Face, you have to go to each space with 1 of his coffins and play red items totaling 6 or more to smash the coffins. The smashed coffins go onto his mat, and when you smashed all 4, you get into the same space as Dracula and play yellow items worth 6 or more to kick his ass. To defeat the Creature from the Black Lagoon, you go to the camp space and use either a yellow, red or blue item to move the boat to the next matching colour. Once you've found his lair, go and find the creature and use a yellow, red and blue combination to send him back to the bottom of the swamp. Ha ha ha! Take that. Collecting lots of items is very important to defeating monsters and defending yourself from monster attacks. Each item has a colour and a type, strength score, and a location which indicates where it's placed once it's drawn from the black bag. So, as an example of a hero phase, the archaeologist has an action score of 4. So he's going to use his special ability to grab an item from an adjacent space, Move 2 spaces to the creature's special overlay tile in the camp, and finally lay an item tile to advance the task. Once your hero phase is complete, it's time for the monster phase. Draw the top card from the monster deck and follow all of the instructions downwards. The number at the top of the card indicates how many new item cards you can draw, and then place them at the locations indicated. The text in the middle tells you about an event. Here, Dracula gets placed in the space with the current player's hero. On this one, Professor Pearson comes onto the board at the cave. When villagers appear, they need to be rescued and taken to another location by a player. Once they've done this, the player can grab themselves another perk card. Perk cards can be played during any player's hero phase and do not count as an action. If the villagers are killed at any point by a monster, the terror track goes up. There may be times when the card's event does not affect you, as the monster mentioned is not involved in the game, so just ignore it. Along the bottom you have the monster strike. Following the monster symbols from left to right, you move and attack with any monsters featured in your game. First, you move the monster the number of spaces indicated here. The monster must move towards the closest hero or villager along the shortest route possible. If a villager and hero are at equal distances, the monster always moves towards the hero. Now roll a number of attack dice as shown here, if the monster has ended up in a space with a hero or villager. If they haven't, then ignore the monster attack phase. Each of these attack symbols means a hit against a hero or villager. You have to either discard an item token for each hit, or if you don't have enough items for the hits, then you end up in hospital for the beginning of the next round and increase the terror level. If you roll dice with this symbol on, it activates the monster's special power. For Dracula, the current player will move into his space, and for the creature, the boat moves one spot backwards. Once you've dealt with one monster symbol, you move on to the next symbol. Any symbols for monsters not in the game are ignored. And if the frenzy symbol is shown, the monster with the frenzy marker takes a go, which could mean the same monster attacking twice. So here, Dracula gets to move one space towards the explorer. He can now roll 2 attack dice. He gets a hit, but the explorer discards an item token to defend. Once one player has had a hero phase and a monster phase, you move on to the next player, and so on and so on. So, to win the game, you must complete all of the tasks to defeat the monsters. Hurrah! The village is saved! Good for you! But, if the terror level reaches its maximum, you lose. The heroes are too horrified to continue. They run from the village like cowards, leaving the villagers to their grisly fate. You also lose when the last card of the monster deck is drawn, which means you f***ed up and taken far too long to save the village. This is a great game with a really good theme, and I just love the artwork. Really cool and colourful. If you're a horror fan who likes a game not too heavy on the game mechanics, this could be for you. And I'd love to see an expansion with more universal monsters and more heroes. Maybe Van Helsing himself could get in on the action. Thanks for watching, and remember, until next time, stay warm and stay tasty. Hey zombie lovers, hit the subscribe button now so you'll never miss an episode. I'll be up to all kinds of things, from playing board and video games, reviewing absolutely anything horror related that takes my fancy, or sometimes just talking shit about my zombie life.